Hey guys, today I have a very important topic for you. So I guess most of you are trying right now to push the pit as far as they can, and especially with some more weaker classes, let's say, for example, like the rogue class, it can be a little bit difficult at some point to actually survive in the higher tier pits. So for example, here you can see me clearing a tier 100 pit, which is already considered as one of the harder pits or pit levels. So I thought it's a good timing to make this video and generally talk about how defenses work in Diablo 4 Season 4 and what tips I can give you so you can better survive with your character. And as always, this video will also focus more on the rogue class than in general, but also, if you're not playing rogue, I think maybe you can get one or two useful tips and tricks in order to increase your survivability. So let's start talking about the number one important thing that you need to keep in mind, especially when you play the rogue, which is playing with Dark Shrouds. So Dark Shrouds is by far the most important defensive skill, or maybe even the only one defensive skill in the entire rogue skill set, which is actually giving you some useful damage reduction. And Dark Shroud works like most other skills. The more points you invest into them, the more powerful and the more value you get from the skills. And in this case, you just increase your damage reduction further and further with each rank of Dark Shroud invested. And the thing here is, many people might think that it's not really worth it to invest too many points in the Dark Shroud, because in the tooltip you can only see that your damage reduction is increasing by, I think, about 0.4 damage reduction per stack per rank, and many people might consider that as not useful enough, and they just go with only one skill rank into Dark Shroud, or at least they don't invest any more in some gear. And there's one specific gear type, which is the chestplate, which can give you up to 9 Dark Shroud ranks if masterworked perfectly, and also if you find it with a greater affix. So of course this is very unlikely to find early in the game, but this should be your long-term goal kind of with your rogue. So you want to find a very good chestplate with Dark Shroud skill ranks, because this is very important in order to survive. And actually I have a small graphic here prepared for you already in Paint. So here you can see this is like Dark Shroud, and here we have 5 ranks versus 14 ranks, let's say. So for example, 5 ranks, you can achieve this by simply skilling your skill tree, so you invest into more skill points in your skill tree. And 14 ranks is what you end up if you, for example, find this godly chestplate, which gives you 9 plus 9 ranks to Dark Shroud. Or you can combine it like you wear Shaco, which gives you plus 4 ranks to Dark Shroud, and then an additional 5 ranks from your chestplate. So this is possible in the endgame. And here you can see the total difference. So with 5 ranks in Dark Shroud, you have 48% damage reduction, while with 14 ranks of Dark Shroud, you will gain 66% damage reduction. So if you just combine all the total of 5 Dark Shrouds active at the same time, then this is the number that you get. And in order to calculate, or let's say analyze how much more effective this number is, you can go a step further and determine the value, like not the damage reduction, but you can also calculate the amount of damage that you will take. So with 48% damage reduction, the amount of damage that your character will take after a monster attacks you is 52%. So you just divide, take 100 and then minus 48, and this is like 52. And here, instead of 66% damage reduction, you can also say we get only 34% of the incoming damage. And then what you can do here in order to determine how big of a difference it is from 14 ranks to 5 ranks of Dark Shroud, you just take this number here, 34%, divided by 52, subtract 1, and then you will get this percentage, like the total percentage change. So 34% taken damage is 35% better or more AHP in this case than 52% damage taken. So maybe this is a little bit complicated for some of you. It's just something you need to go deep into it and understand all the math and calculations. But the important number is this here in blue. So 35% more EHP is what you get if you have 14 ranks of Dark Shroud instead of 5 ranks. So the 66% damage reduction gives you 35% more effective health compared to the 48 damage reduction. And to make it a little bit simpler maybe, or you can imagine it better. So with 5 ranks of Dark Shroud and this damage reduction number here, let's say you have 30k life, so this is your life pool, you have 30k life. And if you invest into more Dark Shroud ranks, so you get 9 additional Dark Shroud ranks and you go into from 5 to 14, this will mean your 30k life is actually 40k life because you get this 35% more effective health. So this is kinda a way how you can describe how damage reduction works in general. So damage reduction means you get less damage and this increases your effective health, so your HP kinda. So yeah, I hope this gives you a little bit of an overview. And maybe you now understand a little bit more why damage reduction from Dark Shroud and ranks to Dark Shroud is so important. So we just get more than 1/3 additional life. So yeah, I hope this helped you a little bit. So the number one important thing in order to survive in higher pits is getting Dark Shroud ranks. And I have found a very godly chestplate. I can also show you here. So I have this greater FX on Dark Shroud and I critted 2 times my Dark Shroud during masterworking. So this is why I have 7 ranks to Dark Shroud already. So very good. Then what can we do else in order to push our survivability? What I did recently is I pushed my dodge value a lot. So I found out that dodge is very helpful, and especially in the combination with another aspect. So here you can also see I'm taking damage, but it's just not enough to kill me because I have very good survivability here. And I can show you my dodge value here. So I have right now 40% dodge chance. And this value also increases because I have this agile ranks here. So I get additional 12% dodge chance. So I will reach about 50% dodge chance in combat in most situations. And dodge chance is very helpful. So this means that every second attack just misses you and you get 0 damage. So it's like 100% damage reduction every second attack. So this is very powerful. And what I also really like about dodge chance is if you combine it with this aspect here. So here you get additional 8% dodge chance, which is also applied in combat. So I actually have even more than 50%. I have about 55 or something, because dodge chance adds up multiplicatively and not additively. But yeah, so I get additional dodge chance, and I also heal up to 20% of my maximum life each time I dodge an attack. And this is also something that you can see from time to time. So this is my only healing source, more or less. I think I also have healing versus close targets from siphoning strikes. But actually I'm healing most of the times with this aspect, and every time the enemies attack me. So yeah, this is a very useful aspect in my opinion. I could see also playing with a different aspect which fortifies you for also 15% of your maximum life. But at least at this pit here it's still kind of helpful in order to heal up completely or very fast. So yeah. Dodge chance also very important, and especially together with this aspect here, it really solved a lot of problems and I increased my survivability by a lot. just alone with dodge chance. And also here you can, like your most wanted rogue items, I already mentioned you want your chestplate with Dark Shroud, you also want a greater FX on Dark Shroud if possible. So this is your number one item you seek for as early as possible. And then you also want pants and boots with dodge chance. So dodge chance can roll on pants and boots usually. And here on my pants I even have tempered another dodge chance affix on my pants. So here I have a double dodge affix, and on my boots I even have this greater affix of dodge chance. So chestplate with Dark Shroud ranks and boots and pants with dodge chance is the key in order to survive higher tier pits. So just yeah, be careful when picking up items and always look out for those items as early as possible. Then another important thing, you can see here I have 47k life. And this is also something many players might struggle in the beginning, and like many people might ask, how do you get that much life? And the answer is very simple actually. So of course you just want to stack maximum life on your gear. So I have maximum life on my Godslayer crown here, I have it on my chest plate, I have it on my pants. I could have it on my boots if like I don't need this fire resistance here, so I would also have it on my boots. Of course I have it on all of my weapons, because weapons are very straightforward in Season 4, you always have maximum life on them. And on my rings I don't have it, and also on the amulet I don't really need it. But it's very simple to reach this high maximum life values if you just put it on nearly each item on your gear. And then also you want to build your paragon in a way where you get the most out of your maximum life nodes. So here basically what you want to do is you want to take as many maximum life nodes as possible. So of course in the starting board we have a lot of those. Then here for example this resistance nodes always have also maximum life and not only resistance, so they are also very valuable for the life alone. Also here cold resilience with maximum life. Here in the rogue class it's a very good board, there's no witness board, so here if you put on something like pride which boosts your rare nodes, then you will get 18% maximum life just from this training node here alone, so this is very huge for the rogue class. And also here I invest into this poison resilience just because I want this maximum life. So yeah, if you build your paragon board properly and take as many maximum life nodes as possible, then you will boost up your life also very fast. And here I'm not even running the best gems here, so I'm still missing on 2 perfect gems, so this will also boost me additional 6% maximum life or something. And then I will also reach more than 50k life, and I also need more greater affixes. So in the end game it's even possible to reach about 60k life with this rogue setup here, for example. So yeah, maximum life very important. It's nearly as effective as damage reduction this season, just because the way how life percentage, so this maximum life percentage works in Season 4, it's different from the previous seasons. So this made life more effective, and now maximum life is nearly as good as damage reduction. So just take it wherever it's possible. Then damage reduction. Talking about damage reduction, in Season 4 we don't have many ways in order to get damage reduction. So something that is very good is this might aspect, so especially for the rogue class, I think this is the only aspect you can get in order to benefit from some damage reduction. So here I'm actually not playing with Might because I want to play with Godslayer Crown. So if I would replace Godslayer Crown with a Might aspect, I would become even more tanky. But right now it's just okay for me to survive. But yeah, something like Might is very important for the rogue class. And of course this is also the reason why the Shaco is a best in slot item in most builds. Just because it allows you to push your damage at the same time as your damage reduction. So, especially for higher tiers, Shaco is very good. But yeah, I also really like the Godslayer Crown. As you guys know, in most of my builds I play with Godslayer Crown. And yeah, so what else can I say about damage reduction? It's very hard to get this season, Shaco, Might aspect. And then in the Paragon board, actually what you can do here, so in my setup here, I'm playing of course with Here I'm playing with Ranger, so this gives me, for example, 10% damage reduction while shooting my Half-Seeker projectiles. And then I think here you have something like damage reduction from vulnerable enemies, which is pretty good, since we make them vulnerable all the time. And then here I also like this rare node, which gives you damage reduction from slowed enemies. So because we are playing with caltrops, we are slowing enemies in a very large area. And what you can do here is you, let's take a look if I have one here. No. So you can go to the alchemist and you can craft incense. Incense. So for example, this one is very cheap. So if you don't want to spend many herbs or like this angel breath, which can be pretty rare at some point, you can even just craft this ancient times incense. So let me just craft one. And if I proc it, I will increase my strength to 533. And this is just enough in order to break the threshold, which I have on this rare node here. So this doubles up my damage reduction. And here I have additional like 12, 15, 18, 21. So about 20% additional damage reduction from slowed enemies. So on your Paragon board, you also have some ways in order to maximize your damage reduction. Also here on the Deadly Ambush node we have this damage reduction from enemies affected by trap skills. So caltrops are also trap skills. So if you lay down your caltrops, then the enemies inside the caltrops will deal a big amount less damage to you than without the caltrops. So this is a trick I can give you on damage reduction in the Paragon board for Rogue. And also what I have found just today is the Andariel's Visage. And I didn't try it yet, but I can also imagine that this 2% lifesteal, which is unique to the Andariel's Visage, can be also pretty huge in this pit meta right now. So you can just heal up immediately, and especially with a very high attack speed value right now, you can basically also become kinda immortal with Andariel's Visage. But I didn't try it out yet. It's just something I can imagine also to work very well. But yeah, these are the most important things to keep in mind. So I can repeat: Dark Shroud skill ranks, dodge chance, and also healing, maximum life, damage reduction with Paragon and the Might aspect, and also some other sources like Andariel's Visage if you can get one. So I think this is, yeah, these are the survivability basics, especially for the Rogue. So I hope you learned something and yeah, you get a little bit better at surviving in the future. So don't forget to leave me a like if you enjoyed my content, and you can also subscribe to this channel. It would be really nice for me. And I would say I see you in the next videos, guys. So have a nice day and bye bye.